Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden is joining us live here in studio now. And Sheriff, we have a lot to get to. Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office in the spotlight as of late. Can we start with the 2 in custody deaths at the main detention center? What can you tell us this morning about what happened in each case?
Well, let me say we are sad that these people died inside what we call custody of the Mecklenburg County Detention Center. We all know that we are battling many things on that side, but what we can tell you, because it is being investigated by the SBI, and we're going to give them that respect. But I want to make sure that the listeners understand this. We, as the Sheriff's Office and my deputies and detention officers, did not contribute to these deaths. And I'm always going to say that, and if we do, I will tell you that also. This is what we call health. This is called untreated diagnosis. This is called poverty, and it's calling that we receive people each and every day that have a chronic illness or a problem that they have no idea about. As I sit here today, we have 8 individuals, residents from our detention center or at local facilities, 8. One resident has been there for over a month. So these are the things that we battle. I'm sure that the headlines will turn it to another direction, but as I told anyone, as I tell everybody, come on down and see what we face every day. But look at how many medical passes that we do a day. We're dealing with 2,200 residents, 21 to 2,200 residents daily. 1,000 of those residents are on medication. 1,000. And so we have to do medical, what they call med passes, just as you do in the hospital each day. So really this boils down to health, poverty, and undiagnosed, untreated illnesses.
And often arriving while the jail is overcrowded, which we want to talk about as well. But is there any connection with an overcrowded system contributing to these deaths?
Well, no. I think they walk into our facility with these diagnoses or undiagnosed, and we attempt to treat them. We do probably 3 or 4 clinics trips a day. So it is not because of overcrowding, it is because of poor health.
Okay. Is anything being done differently moving forward?
Well, we're doing the same thing. We're trying to, I guess, talk to the residents as they come in, inmates, arrestees as they come in, and go through a medical history a little bit deeper, have it diagnosed early, and give them more, I guess, exams. That's what we're doing to see how they're functioning, the chronic illnesses. That is what we are challenged with. But when you have a flow of people coming in every day, and you have to understand, some of them don't stay. So they may get the diagnosis from us and then leave. It's a couple that are tragically coming in and not knowing they have a chronic illness, which oftentimes are life-threatening.
And as far as this SBI investigation, which I know you're leaving up to them, of course, and respecting their space, the officers involved, is there anything can be said about any involvement?
Well, let me correct the word involvement with it, because the pods, housing pod, usually consists of 50 people. Now we're up to 80 people. So the involvement is the officer checking on them, find them unresponsive, or watch them pass out before them. So we do interview all the people who are involved with this, and this is why it's so important for people to know the facts. I will share those facts with you when it's time. I have booklets of those deaths now, but you have to look at the facts. What are the SBI findings, and what is the final decision by the district attorney? If we ask those questions, then we will be accountable for what we are trying to discuss here.
All right, copy that. And I've got to ask about the families. They've obviously been briefed. What can you say about their response?
I mean, it's always devastating. My past life was giving the death notification. Now we allow the chaplains to give the death notification, and it is definitely tough. You know, we're talking people who are expected to live many years. Now we're talking about people dying in their 30s. Even though when they pass away in their 50s, it's still tragic. The tragedy, the hurt, the loss is always going to be there. no matter if they are incarcerated or if they're on the streets. So the loss is the loss. It still resonates with the family very deeply, but you have to understand it also resonates with us because we simply house and care for these individuals, but oftentimes we have a working relationship with these individuals. When they die inside the pods, believe it or not, the people living inside the pods see them as a member of their community. So it is just like losing someone from across the street, from your home, from across the cell. It's the same thing. These are individuals. They are human. We should understand that no matter what their crimes are, they're still human. They still have emotions. They still have feeling. So it resonates with my staff, but also the remaining people, as they say, left the neighborhood. And that is how they classify themselves as.
Can you give us the latest status then on the detention center as it stands today? Where are you?
I'm going to always smile because we are fastly approaching September 1st. We are doing well. I went and did my personal walkthrough yesterday. The state inspectors came out, did their inspections. We have some very minor issues to address, cracks here, a broken window, a crack in the window, maybe repaint some areas. But we're well on our way. I have no reason to not believe that we are not going to open on September 1st. We do have a lot of applicants. I am very thankful for the applicants, and we still are going to continue to hire and hire and hire, and we're not going to stop. So if you want to apply, please apply, and we'll be glad to take a look at your resume or your application. But we are doing well. I'm excited about it. My staff is excited about it. We are moving furniture, and we are placing people in positions. And I think in a couple of days, the staff that is going to work there will go out and kind of clean up their own spaces. Yesterday, I went and visited my little corner office, which is a very small office, but a place what we call land and talk to people. So I'm happy to see all of that being accomplished.
All right, very good. This is for Jail North, right?
Yes.
Opening September 1st.
September 1st.
And the hope there is to move some of the folks in the current Mecklenburg County Detention Center over?
Yes, ma'am. We hope to move 200 or 300 initially to get the space because, as we say, they are not technically sleeping on the floor, but people like to say they're sleeping on the floor, so we can move those individuals to the North facility.
All right, let's talk about the funding then for Jail North and the recent hot day. It was heated there with local advocacy group Children's Alliance. Where did this, I don't want to call it a conflict, but the dynamics between your office and
I
Children's
think we
Alliance?
can call it conflict.
Okay.
Frank Crawford with the Children's Alliance sent out a blistering email inviting people to come to this one-man press conference. And so it was poorly categorizing us or Mecklenburg County as losing millions of dollars. The number has gotten down to $35 million. And so we're talking about $35 million that if Frank Crawford and the Children's Alliance can force or arrange for the Department of Juvenile Justice for them to provide me with the funds, we can go. So he simply said something that was definitely out of context, and so we prepared ourselves for it. And then we gave him a letter. We gave him 120 days to come forward with the money. We're talking about $18 million, $13 million, whatever they want to give us. They have $35 million that they float around or hang in front of us as a carrot. So simply putting this out, I would say it gaslighted me, and so we confronted him with it. This was not a news conference. This was a one-man show. The tables were set for one person to be seated. So I took advantage of it. I'm going to have what I will say too. Now, Mr. Crawford and the Children's Alliance know that we have had multiple meetings, and he talked about it. We've had these sidebar meetings. We had breakfast meetings. We had a meeting where it was me, him, and only a judge, and me and him and just one other person. So we had all the back room talks, the front room talks, and where we assembled 40 people. We had the assembly last year where we went over the facts at Valerie Woodard Center. So he clearly knew that we were ready to move forward, but putting us out there, gaslighting us, as I'm still going to call it, brought us to that table of let's have a discussion. I gave him the file. I gave him the ultimatum. What do you want to do? We have not heard back from them yet.
Can you explain for people who haven't caught up on that conversation, and what specifically in their statements is inaccurate?
Well, he said that we would lose millions of dollars if we don't come to agreement. So I will agree. They will lose and the county will lose this money. But if you have the money, why don't you give it to us? So simply saying we are going to lose the money, and then all of a sudden when we got to the press conference, you start backpedaling of what we can't do. Well, let's make up your mind. You have $35 million. Can you use it? But we haven't really reviewed all of the comments during that interview. If you look at that, he said this money could be used for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I will take that money and use that money for exactly what he says, and then we can go forward. But my alternative was always this. You can close Stonewall Jackson facility. I will be willing to hire all of those individuals, come inside and work that detention center. So when we're talking about we're not coming to the table and we are stalemate, that is not an honest, truthful answer. We have had all of these conversations, we have all of the options, and we give them the bottom line. So the clock is now ticking of the 120 days that I gave him in a letter. Whatever you can come up with, let's go forward. We are moving forward, and we're going to have some federal partners also involved. So if you wait too long, don't let the excuse be now, well, he doesn't want to work with us. We have always want to work with him. But why it was heated? Because we had to confront him with the truth.
And what was the impact, any fallout since that time, this back and forth somewhat in the public? Has that done anything for the cause?
Well, it has done nothing for the cause, because no one has come to the table and said, Sheriff, we can work with this. The Department of Juvenile Justice, me and Mr. Lassiter, always have a great conversation. We'll always have a great conversation. We had a conversation about this afterwards. And I'll leave that as a private conversation, and let Mr. Lassiter speak if he wish. But we are good if we have space, but you have to understand that Mr. Crawford and the Children Alliance has another agenda. I have no idea what that agenda is, but if he still wants it, it is now on his head.
And
he can take care of it if he wants to.
Anything that state leaders or other leaders can do and intervene and help out?
They have the money, cut the check, and let's move forward.
All right. Let's move forward with the current numbers, the overcrowded situation in Mecklenburg. You always give me the number of your capacity, 1791?
1791 is the bed capacity at the Mecklenburg County Jail Detention Center. Last week, we hit 2219, so we are still hovering around 2150 to 2200.
Okay, and will that be relieved at any time?
September 1st. We hope that is the release date for us to go forward with the Detention Center North. We're hopeful, and I think that we're going to make that deadline.
And what is driving the numbers?
Well, it's a lot driving the numbers. I'm always going to talk about eviction. Eviction is completely unbelievable and unaddressed. 200 to 250 people are evicted out of their homes each and every week. I think the highest number I've seen recently was 215 1 week ago. 215. So people are losing their jobs or do not have the financial stability to remain in their homes. That's one driving factor. And then we can talk about Arena's law. You know, Arena laws has people afraid to be released. I mean, the judicial system afraid to release them, so they remain longer. And so all of this compounds keeps our numbers up. And of course, you know, crime is still being committed. We can talk about the numbers, we can float the numbers up and down and percentage down, percentage up. We see the raw numbers of people coming inside a detention center.
We had a major crime out of Dilworth that made headlines. Daquan Hunt facing an assault with a deadly weapon. After a video in Dilworth went viral, is he currently in your custody?
Not as of today. Not as of today, let me say that.
Okay.
I haven't gotten an alert. I'll tell you, we talk about what we could do, how can we avoid crime, what could be done. Looking at that video, which is absolutely devastating, hard to watch. It is very hard to watch. I tell people, if you don't have thick skin or your emotions are very timid, do not watch that video. There was nothing that young lady did wrong. She's simply walking down the sidewalk. So you have to understand, two people are passing on the sidewalk. That happens hundreds of thousands of times a day. Just two individuals walking down the sidewalk. But we have to talk about mental health. Mental health, and we have to address that. We know that there are many people mentally unstable on our streets each and every day. We pass them going to work, coming from work, going to lunch, and we know that is a crisis that we need to address with homelessness. We have to address that, but it was devastating to watch. But he's not with us, but imagine when he's released from whatever facility he's at, then it's up to us to house that individual inside the walls of Mecklenburg County Detention Center.
Yeah, I had over more than a dozen arrests back to 2012. I know you don't control the bond decisions or sentencing, but a case like this in the system, does it frustrate you?
It is frustrating. It is absolutely frustrating. You know, being into the system for many years, having cases to court, watching cases dismissed. You know, we're going to have to sit down and have that hard discussion, but we still can't have the same talking heads and people making these conversational discussions without some effort of resolve. We have to do better. This is devastating. You know, we have to look at these crimes, and not saying that you know, we have to crush everybody who commits crime. We can find alternatives, but we need to seek resources to help these individuals instead of letting them go to treatment for a couple of days and then putting them back on the street, because those people will end up in our facility, as this young man is now going to end up in our facility. And what happens then? Now the attention will be on him, but it should have been on him way before now.
Right. And the process of processing someone like him who's been there a dozen times, does the intake for him or the supervision for him, does it differ through the system this many times?
Well, he will come in through the system just like anyone else. We'll have the normal standard procedures, but yes, we're going to watch him a little closely. Yes, we're going to monitor him a little closer, and then we're going to try to provide him some of the resources for his mental health behavior while there. But we cannot force it on him. It cannot be we can't force it on him. Let me just say that. We can't force it on him. We can offer it him, suggest to him, and hopefully he accepts it.
All right. Sheriff Gary McFadden joining us here in the Live Impact Studio. We had a lot to talk about today.
We'll always be here to talk to you about it. We're not going to hide from it. We are accountable, and so we're going to be here. And if people want to come down and see us, and we want to talk to us, we will come out to your community and have these same conversations.
All right, very good. Thank you for coming in this week, and we'll count down to September 1st with you.
September 1st.
Jail North. All right, thanks,
you.
Sheriff.